The massive warship of the Galactic Council moved into Earth's solar system. Its surface shone in the distant sunlight. Admiral Kim stood watching screens that showed Earth's blue and green surface. His eyes were cold and calculating. "Just another simple world to add to our list," said Officer Lee, who worked under Admiral Kim. The Galactic Council had 12 different alien species in it. They had taken over hundreds of planets with very little trouble. They saw Earth as a death world, a place with harsh conditions, but lots of valuable materials. This was exactly the kind of planet they liked to conquer. "The humans don't seem very advanced," Science Officer Park told Admiral Kim. She pointed to readings on her screen. "But they might be stronger and more adaptable than they look." Admiral Kim didn't care about her warning. He waved his hand dismissively. "All species think they're special before they meet us. The humans will be no different." Meanwhile, on Earth, detection systems picked up the alien ships approaching. Countries that had fought each other for hundreds of years suddenly found themselves working together. They chose General Han to lead Earth's combined military forces. He was a battle-hardened soldier known for his constant frown. In the underground command center, screens showed the alien fleet getting closer. Military personnel worked quickly at their stations. The room buzzed with nervous energy. "They've sent us a message," said Director Choi. Her voice remained calm even though everyone was worried. She stood straight as she delivered the news. "They want us to surrender completely within 2 days." General Han's face grew harder as he looked at the world leaders gathered around the table. Leaders from America, Russia, China, and many other nations watched him with concerned expressions. "So we have 2 days to get ready," Han said simply. Engineers and scientists worked non-stop in labs around the world. They rushed to finish secret weapon projects that had been in development for years. Soldiers prepared defenses. Families huddled around televisions as news reports tried to explain the situation without causing panic. In orbit, Earth's hidden satellite network silently tracked the alien fleet. The satellites were small and hard to detect, part of a defense system that had been built in secret through international cooperation. Admiral Kim studied reports about Earth. Their weapons are primitive. Their spacecraft can barely leave their atmosphere. This will be a simple conquest. On his ship, alien crew members from different species worked at various stations. Some had scales, others had extra limbs, and some looked almost human except for strange colors or features. All were united in their belief that the Council was unstoppable. "Sir," said a navigator with blue skin, "should we send a second warning? Some planets surrender after more shows of force." "No," said Admiral Kim. "They've had their chance. Begin standard conquest procedures when the deadline passes." Back on Earth, General Han met with his top officers. Maps and battle plans covered the tables around them. "They think we're weak and divided," Han told the room. "They don't know that humans are most dangerous when backed into a corner." Director Choi entered with new information. "Our scientists have analyzed the alien message. We believe their weapons are energy-based, not physical projectiles." Han nodded. "That matches our theories. Are the electromagnetic shields ready?" "Nearly," answered Choi. "But they won't hold for long against a full attack." Outside the command center, ordinary people prepared for the unknown. Some cities were being evacuated. Others built shelters. Religious groups held prayer meetings while others partied like it was their last chance. On the council ship, Admiral Kim prepared his invasion force. Smaller attack vessels filled the launch bays. Soldiers in advanced armor checked their weapons. "Remember your training," Kim told his commanders. "These humans have never faced anything like us. Most will surrender when they see our technology." Science Officer Park looked troubled. "Sir, my readings still show unusual patterns in human history. They've survived multiple near-extinction events. Their adaptability shouldn't be underestimated." "Noted," Kim said without concern. "But adaptability takes time. We won't give them that luxury." The deadline approached. Earth's leaders gathered for one final meeting. "What's our response?" asked the President of the United States. General Han stood tall. Our forces are as ready as they can be. Our secret weapons are deployed. Now we need to answer. Director Choi looked at the simple message they had prepared. Is this really what we want to send? It seems provocative. Han nodded firmly. The aliens expect fear and submission. Showing defiance might surprise them. Sometimes psychological advantage is as important as technology. The countdown reached 0. On the alien flagship, Admiral Kim waited for Earth's surrender message. Instead, a short response appeared on his screen. Come and take it. Kim's expression darkened. Begin the attack. Show them the price of defiance. As the alien ships moved toward Earth, General Han watched the screens showing their approach. His officers waited nervously for his orders. They think they know what they're facing, Han said quietly. They're wrong. He pressed a button on the command console. Activate all defenses. Let's show them what humans can do. Around the planet, hidden weapons platforms powered up. In secret bunkers, experimental technologies activated. Earth was about to surprise its would-be conquerors. The war for humanity's survival had begun. The time limit set by the Galactic Council ended. Earth's answer was short and clear. Come and take it. Admiral Kim smiled coldly at the message. Humans were just like all the other species they had conquered, brave until they saw a real power. He gave the order to start the attack. Begin standard conquest pattern, he commanded. His voice was calm, as if he was ordering a meal, not starting a war. The alien ships moved into attack formation. Hundreds of smaller fighter craft launched from the larger vessels. They looked like metal insects as they flew toward Earth. Their weapons glowed with strange energy, ready to destroy anything in their path. The first wave will target their major cities and military bases, Officer Lee said, pointing to a map of Earth. We expect them to surrender after the initial demonstration. The fighters entered Earth's atmosphere. They flew in perfect formation, their pilots confident. None of them expected any real resistance from such a primitive planet. Hidden in orbit around Earth, small satellites suddenly activated. They had been disguised as space junk, old satellites, and rocket parts. But now they revealed their true purpose. The first alien fighter exploded without warning. Then another, and another. On the Council command ship, alarms began to sound. What's happening? Admiral Kim demanded. The humans have orbital weapons, Officer Lee shouted. His calm confidence was gone. Hidden platforms. Our scanners didn't detect them. On screens throughout the ship, they watched as their fighters were destroyed by energy beams coming from what looked like harmless debris. More surprises waited for the aliens who made it past the orbital defenses. As they approached major cities, they found energy shields activating. When they tried to target military bases, their targeting systems suddenly failed. Impossible, shouted a weapons officer as 3 large Council destroyers exploded in bright flashes. Their technology cannot be this advanced. Admiral Kim's face showed shock for the first time. He gripped the edge of the command console until his knuckles turned white. Pull back the first wave, he ordered. Retreat and regroup. Officer Lee stared at him. Retreat? We have never retreated from a... Do it now, Kim shouted, before we lose more ships. The alien vessels that could still fly turned around and headed back to the safety of their fleet. They left behind burning wreckage and failed plans. On Earth, in the underground command center, General Han watched the alien retreat on the big screen. He allowed himself a small smile, the first one anyone had seen from him in days. We've bloodied their nose, he said to the room of tired but excited officers. Now they know we won't go quietly. Director Choi walked up to him with a tablet. Her face showed both happiness and worry. We've stopped their first attack, but at a cost. We've lost nearly 30% of our orbital platforms. Han nodded, taking the tablet to see the details. Are the ground-based systems intact? Yes, Choi answered. All ground systems are operational. Good, Han said. They expected to find primitives. Let's continue to show them how wrong they are. Around the world, people emerged from shelters to see the remains of alien ships burning in the sky. Some cheered, others prayed, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. In orbit, the remains of alien technology fell to Earth. Teams of scientists were already preparing to collect these pieces. Every bit of alien technology could help them improve their defenses. On the Council flagship, Admiral Kim called an emergency meeting of his commanders. Our intelligence was wrong, he admitted. The words tasted bitter in his mouth. The humans have technology we did not know about. How is this possible? Asked one commander. Our scouts reported they had barely reached their moon. Science Officer Park stepped forward. I believe they deliberately hid their capabilities. Their space programs may have been a cover while they built defenses in secret. Admiral Kim paced the room. We need a new strategy. No species has ever resisted our first attack so effectively. Meanwhile, in research labs around Earth, scientists studied the alien weapons they had captured. Engineers worked to understand how the alien ships moved and communicated. Their technology is advanced, said one scientist to General Han during a video call. But not as advanced as they think. We can adapt some of our systems to counter them even better. Han nodded. How long will it take? Days, not weeks, the scientist replied. Especially if we can capture more of their tech intact. In the skies above Earth, the alien fleet regrouped. Admiral Kim studied new scans of Earth's defenses, looking for weaknesses. We will not make the same mistake twice, he promised his officers. The next attack will overwhelm them completely. But doubt had entered the minds of the Council forces. Never before had they faced a species that fought back so effectively. Some began to wonder if Earth might be different from all the others. General Han knew the aliens would return stronger and better prepared. But now Earth had something valuable, time, and humans had always been good at making the most of limited time. They think they know what they're fighting, Han told his officers as they prepared for the next attack. But they've never fought humans before. The real war was just beginning. The Galactic Council meeting room was filled with angry voices. Leaders from 12 different alien species argued about what to do next. Some pounded their strange hands on the table. Others flashed colors on their skin to show their feelings. We should destroy their entire planet, shouted the Traz representative, his red scales standing up in anger. No primitive species has ever dared to resist us like this. That would waste valuable resources, countered the calm voice of the Muri delegate, her 4 eyes blinking slowly. The humans have shown they are worth talking to. We should try diplomacy. Admiral Kim stood silently, waiting for the arguments to finish. His first attack on Earth had failed completely. Now his reputation was damaged, and the Council was divided. Science Officer Park stepped forward with her report. The room grew quiet as the screen showed data about humans. These humans are unlike any species we've encountered, she admitted. Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed concern. Their adaptability exceeds all our predictive models. They learn and adjust faster than any species we know. That's impossible, said one council member. They only developed basic space travel a few decades ago. Yet they defeated our first wave, Park reminded them. And they're already studying our technology from the ships they shot down. On Earth, at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, a special team of humans worked inside a crashed alien ship. Water pressure crushed against the damaged hull. The alien environment was strange and dangerous. Captain Song led her team carefully through the dark corridors. They wore special suits to protect them from alien materials and possible traps. Move carefully, she told her team through the radio in her helmet. We need as much of this ship intact as possible. Engineer Bod examined a panel of strange lights and symbols. This must be their power system, he said, like nothing I've ever seen before. Captain Song nodded. Can you figure it out? Bass smiled inside his helmet. Already working on it. These aliens think differently, but their basic science follows rules we understand. Back at Earth Command, General Han received reports from teams around the world. Other alien ships had crashed on land, and each one was being studied by the best scientists Earth had. "How soon can we use what they're learning?" Han asked Director Choi. She checked her tablet. "Some teams are already adapting alien technology to our fighters. The energy shields are our top priority." Han nodded. "Good. Tell them to work faster. The Council won't stay confused forever." In space, Admiral Kim prepared a second attack. This time, he would use the Council's full power. No more testing Earth's defenses. This would be total war. "Our new attack plan targets their power systems first," he explained to his commanders. "Then their communication networks. We will cut them off from each other before the main attack." Officer Lee looked troubled. "Sir, some council members are suggesting talks instead of more fighting." Kim's face hardened. "Talks? After they humiliated our forces? No. We will show them the true power of the Council." 3 days later, Captain Song's team finished their work on the crashed ship. They had learned how the alien shields worked and how their weapons were powered. "The alien technology is incredible," she reported to General Han over a secure channel. "But my engineers think they can adapt some of it to our systems. Maybe even improve it." Han's eyes widened slightly. "Improve it? How?" "Their technology is advanced, but fixed," Song explained. "They haven't changed it much in a long time. We can combine it with our newer ideas." All around the world, factories worked day and night to modify Earth's weapons with the new alien technology. Fighter planes were equipped with energy shields. Tanks received new power systems. Soldiers trained with captured alien weapons. 1 week after the first attack, Earth was ready to fight back. Admiral Kim didn't expect the counterattack. His sensors detected a small group of Earth ships rising from the atmosphere. He laughed. "They think they can fight us in space. Let them come. This will be quick." But as the Earth ships approached, his officers noticed something strange. "Sir," said a sensor operator, "the Earth ships have shields. Energy shields like ours." Kim rushed to see the readings himself. It couldn't be true. But there it was. Earth fighters protected by technology they shouldn't have for at least 100 years. "Impossible," he whispered. The Earth fighters attacked with surprising speed. They fired weapons that looked like a mix of human and Council technology. Several Council ships took heavy damage before they could respond. "How are they learning our systems so quickly?" Kim demanded as his flagship shook from a direct hit. Science Officer Park watched the battle with growing concern. "It appears adaptability is their evolutionary advantage," she replied quietly. "They don't just copy, they improve." The Earth fighters struck fast, then retreated before the Council could organize a proper defense. It wasn't a major attack, more like a test, a message. In the Council meeting after the battle, the mood had changed. Doubt showed on alien faces that had never known defeat. "Perhaps we should reconsider our approach," suggested one elder member. "These humans might be more valuable as allies than as conquered subjects." Admiral Kim couldn't believe what he was hearing. The mighty Galactic Council, considering a change in plans because of one small planet. "We cannot show weakness," he argued. "If we back down from humans, other worlds might resist us too." But he saw the uncertainty in their eyes. For the first time in the Council's long history, doubt had entered their plans. On Earth, General Han reviewed the success of their counterattack. The modified fighters had performed even better than expected. "Now they know we can hit them back," he told his officers. "We've changed the game." Captain Song nodded. "And we're just getting started. Every day we learn more about their technology." For the first time since the alien ships appeared, people around the world began to hope. Humans had always been good at one thing, taking others' ideas and making them better. Now the Galactic Council was learning this lesson the hard way. The Galactic Council meeting had turned into a shouting match. Different alien species took sides in the argument about Earth. Some pounded their fists or tentacles on the table. Others hissed or clicked their disagreement. "We must destroy the humans completely," shouted Representative Quan, his tall, thin body shaking with anger. "They resist our rightful rule and steal our technology." Others in the room nodded their agreement. The Quan faction had always believed in using maximum force. Across the table, Representative Yoon stood up. She was smaller than Quan, with smooth blue skin that seemed to glow slightly. "These humans have earned our respect," she insisted. Her voice was calm but firm. "They've done more than just survive. They've innovated under pressure. We could learn from them." The council chamber erupted in noise again. For thousands of years, the Galactic Council had conquered planets without serious resistance. Now one small world threatened their way of doing things. Admiral Kim watched the argument with growing concern. His recent battles against Earth had gone badly. The humans kept surprising him with new adaptations of Council technology. His ships were taking heavy losses. "Order!" shouted the Council leader, banging a ceremonial staff on the floor. "We will decide this matter with reason, not shouting." Meanwhile on Earth, in a secure underground lab, Captain Song and her team made an amazing discovery. They had been studying the Council's database from a captured ship. What they found changed everything. "General Han needs to see this immediately," Song said, looking at the information on her screen. In the command center, General Han studied the report with narrowed eyes. Earth's leaders gathered around him, waiting for his explanation. "We now know why they came to Earth," Han said finally. "It's not just about conquest. They want something specific from our planet." He showed them the data. Deep scans of captured Council databases revealed the aliens' interest in a rare element in Earth's core. This element was crucial for their faster-than-light travel technology. "They need this element for their ships," Han explained. "Their own planets ran out of it long ago." The President of the United States frowned. "So they'll never stop coming as long as Earth has this element." "Exactly," Han nodded. "They won't stop unless we change what they value. We need to give them something better than conquest." In her lab, Captain Song explained her team's breakthrough to General Han. "We've developed a new propulsion theory," she said, pointing to complex diagrams on screens around the room. "It's based on Council technology, but with a human innovation." "What kind of innovation?" Han asked. Song smiled. "Our version doesn't need the rare element at all. It uses a different approach that's actually more efficient." Han's eyes widened. "You're saying we can offer them a better technology than what they already have?" "Yes." Song nodded. "We can give them something they need more than they need to conquer us." In space, the Council's internal conflict had reached a breaking point. The Quan faction decided to act without full Council approval. They prepared a massive fleet for one final attack on Earth. "We will crush their resistance once and for all," Quan declared. "The Council has grown soft, but we remember our true purpose." Admiral Kim received orders to lead the attack. He didn't fully agree with Quan's extreme approach, but he was a soldier. He would follow orders. The massive attack force moved toward Earth. Thousands of ships filled space like angry insects. On Earth, defense systems detected the approaching fleet. It was larger than anything they had faced before. "They're throwing everything at us," Director Choi said, her voice tight with worry. General Han remained calm. "We're ready for them. Activate Defense Plan Delta." Around the planet, Earth's defense grid powered up. But this time, it operated in strange patterns that made no logical sense. Weapons fired in seemingly random sequences. Defense shields flickered on and off. In the Council flagship, Admiral Kim frowned at his tactical display. "What are they doing?" he demanded. "Their defense pattern makes no sense." His tactical officers looked confused. "We can't predict their movements, sir. Our computers can't find a pattern to target." That was exactly what the humans intended. They had studied how Council targeting systems worked. The systems looked for patterns and logical sequences, so Earth's forces deliberately avoided using any. "They're adapting again," Kim muttered. How do they keep doing this? The battle quickly turned against the Council forces. Their carefully planned formations fell apart as Earth's unpredictable attacks hit them from all directions. Kim's flagship rocked with explosions as direct hits penetrated their shields. Shields failing. Multiple systems damage, shouted Officer Lee. Admiral Kim gripped his command chair as the lights flickered. How do they keep adapting? He whispered as his ship's systems began to shut down around him. On Earth, General Han watched the battle from the command center. Earth's forces were holding their own against superior numbers. It's working, Director Choi said with cautious hope. Their formations are breaking up. Han nodded. Humans have always been good at being unpredictable. Their tactical computers can't handle it. But even as Earth's defenses held, Han knew they couldn't win a long war against the entire Council. They needed to change the terms of the conflict. Is Captain Song's proposal ready? He asked. Choi nodded. Yes, the demonstration is prepared. Good, Han said. While their fleet is in disarray, send the message to all Council ships. Show them what we've developed. As Admiral Kim tried to save his failing ship, a message appeared on his screen. It contained scientific data and a video demonstration. What is this? He demanded. Science Officer Park reviewed the information, her eyes growing wide. Sir, the humans have developed a new propulsion system, one that doesn't need the core element we've been fighting for. Impossible, Kim said. No, sir, Park shook her head. I've analyzed it. Their design works. It's actually more efficient than our current technology. All around Kim's ship, the battle paused as other Council commanders received the same message. For the first time in the long war, there was silence in space. The humans had changed everything with one brilliant move. The smoke cleared slowly on the bridge of Admiral Kim's flagship. Emergency lights cast red shadows across the damaged control room. Sparks flew from broken panels. The ship, once the pride of the Galactic Council fleet, was now barely functioning. Kim stood tall despite their defeat. His uniform was torn and dirty, but his posture remained perfect. Around him, his crew watched in silence as the airlock doors opened. General Han walked onto the bridge, followed by Earth soldiers in new armor that combined human and alien technology. The Earth forces moved with caution, weapons ready but not pointed directly at the alien crew. The two leaders faced each other. Enemies who had tried to destroy one another now stood just a few steps apart. You fought well, Han said, looking directly at Admiral Kim. His voice held no mockery, just simple acknowledgement. Kim's face remained expressionless. You defeated the greatest fleet in the galaxy. How? Because you never understood what you were fighting against, Han replied. Explain, demanded Kim. Han looked around the damaged bridge before answering. Every obstacle humanity has faced, disease, climate, our own conflicts, has forced us to adapt or die. Your council has conquered too easily for too long. You forgot how to evolve. Kim considered these words carefully. For the first time, he began to truly understand humans. The war ended that day, but the changes were just beginning. News of Earth's victory and their new propulsion technology spread quickly through the galaxy. The council chambers, once a place of order and control, now filled with angry voices and accusations. The humans have proven the council's ways are outdated, declared Representative Yoon to the gathered species. We must change or we will fall. Representative Kwan and his supporters fought against these ideas, but their influence weakened daily. More species began to question the Council's authority. Within months, the Galactic Council that had ruled for thousands of years began to break apart. Species withdrew their support one by one. Some reached out to Earth directly, seeking alliances and technology exchanges. On Earth, the recovery began. Cities damaged in the fighting were rebuilt. Alien technology was studied and improved. The world remained united, the old national conflicts set aside in the face of their new place in the galaxy. Captain Song worked tirelessly with her team, improving the propulsion system and developing new technologies that combine the best of human and alien science. Her efforts earned her a new position when Earth formed its first diplomatic team. 1 year after the final battle, the newly created Galactic Assembly held its first meeting. Unlike the old council chamber with its strict hierarchy, the assembly room was circular, with all seats at the same level. Each species had equal voice and equal vote. Earth representatives took their places among the alien delegates. Some aliens still viewed humans with suspicion, but many were curious about the species that had changed everything. Ambassador Song rose to address the gathered delegates. The room grew quiet as she moved to the central speaking position. She looked different now, more confident, but with the same intense focus that had helped her understand alien technology during the war. "We have much to learn from each other," she said, her gaze moving across the many strange and wonderful forms of life in the room. "But the first lesson must be this. True strength comes not from conquest, but from cooperation in the face of adversity." Many delegates nodded their agreement. Others looked thoughtful. Some still seemed doubtful. In the section reserved for the former admiral species, Kim sat watching carefully. His people had lost the most in the collapse of the council. Their position, their power, their certainty of their place in the galaxy. Now they had to find a new way forward. As Song finished speaking, Kim was the first to raise his hands and clap, the human gesture of approval he had learned during peace negotiations. Others quickly joined, the sound of different appendages creating a strange but unified applause. After the meeting, Ambassador Song approached Kim in one of the assembly's garden areas. The two stood looking at plants from dozens of worlds growing together. "Your speech was impressive," Kim said. "My people are still adjusting to this new arrangement." Song nodded. "Change is difficult, but your expertise and knowledge will be valuable to all of us." "As will yours," Kim admitted. "Your propulsion system has already improved travel between worlds by 40%. Song smiled. "That was just the beginning. Wait until you see what we're working on next." Kim raised an eyebrow. "You continue to surprise me." "That's what humans do best," Song replied. On Earth, children now looked up at the night sky with new understanding. The stars were no longer distant and mysterious. They were places to visit, homes of new friends and allies. Schools taught about the different species in the assembly. Markets sold goods from distant planets. In his office overlooking the rebuilt Geneva, General Han reviewed reports from Earth's new defense force. The old bunker command centers had been replaced with open, light-filled buildings. The military's focus had shifted from war to protection and cooperation. Director Choi entered with the latest updates. "The Joint Human-Muri Exploration Team has discovered 3 new habitable planets," she reported. Han nodded. "And the defense grid, operating at full capacity. The combined technology is more effective than either human or alien systems alone." Han looked out the window at the busy city below. "We came so close to destruction," he said quietly. "But instead, we found a better way forward," Choi replied. Across the galaxy, ships traveled between worlds using the new propulsion system. Ideas and cultures mixed and merged. Some problems remained, some conflicts still flared, but the foundation of cooperation grew stronger. The galaxy had changed forever because one small planet had refused to surrender and then offered friendship instead of revenge when they won. And in the assembly halls, humans and aliens worked together to build something neither could have created alone. The end.